Nostalgia. From TV and movies to sports and brands, everyone loves a good nostalgia run. It's that longing we all get to reminisce on the highlights of our past. And it's kept things like Vinyl, Full House, and the McRib relevant in 2018. Yes, nostalgia is a powerful, powerful thing. Just ask Virgil. He doesn't just love nostalgia, he needs it. And sometimes it can be a truly incredible thing for everybody. Like when the Hardys made a surprise return at WrestleMania 33, or when the WWE shocked everybody with the unannounced return of best wrestler ever, Shane McMahon, in February 2016. It may be hard to remember now, but go back and watch the reaction when Here Comes the Money hits. That pop was massive. And it's because of that excitement that the WWE reaches into their very deep pockets and does everything they can to pull out some of our favorite wrestlers of all time, wipe away the cobwebs, and dust them off for our entertainment and all the money that goes along with that. So without any further ado, I'm Matt from Wrestling Universe, and this is 6 rumored WWE returns. And just for fun, let's rank them on a scale from 1 to 10 Eugenes, with 10 Eugenes meaning absolutely absurd and never gonna happen, maybe even offensive, and 1 Eugene meaning just ridiculous enough to work. Number 6, Goldberg. Now this one's more speculation than most, with Bill Goldberg himself being the one to fan the flames, as he continued to do for years before returning to take on Kevin Owens and ultimately Brock Lesnar in 2017. Just this week, however, Goldberg spoke with TV Insider to promote Forged in Fire on History Channel, and during that interview, the 51-year-old former World Heavyweight Champion said that while his last run with WWE definitely helped to scratch the itch of professional wrestling, making his son happy is a big part of a possible return, saying, quote, "I can tell you probably he would love for me to do it again. There's a lot of people he needs to say hello to that he got to be good friends with. I'm sure he misses them." Now, it's important to remember how many years of feeding the rumor mill it took for WWE and Goldberg to finally come to terms on a deal in the first place. I don't know about you, but I'm not putting too much stock in this one. 6 Eugenes. Maybe, but probably not anytime soon. Number 5, Kane. Alright, so we all know that Kane is definitely returning to be in The Undertaker's corner for WWE Super Showdown event in Australia this Saturday. However, as the new mayor of Knox County, Tennessee, it's currently unknown whether or not Kane's schedule or mayoral duties might prevent him from doing any full-on in-ring work and taking bumps in legitimate matches for the WWE. It looks obvious given the storyline surrounding the Undertaker vs. Triple H match happening at the upcoming event, which by the time you'll see this will have probably already aired. And Kane seems like the most likely on this list, but he is a current government official, and that generally only allows for so much in regard to in-ring competition. Even with Kane appearing on Monday Night Raw and delivering a Tombstone Piledriver, it's still quite possible that WWE is trying not to show their hand with the Big Red Machine in terms of what he's capable of doing in his new role. Let's not forget, the last time we saw Kane before Raw was July, 2 months prior to being elected mayor, where he was written off of WWE programming with an ankle injury. So while it seems almost certain that Kane is making a return after a short time away, and he's easily the most obvious name on this list, this one's only gonna get 2 Eugenes, which means, yeah, probably. Number 4, the NWO. A little more than 3 years ago, Hulk Hogan was released from his WWE Legends contract following a controversy surrounding audio that was released from a conversation Hogan had in private where he used some hurtful and very offensive language. And with that, a lot of us thought that the long and complicated relationship between WWE and Hogan was over. However, in July of this year, Hogan was reinstated to the WWE Hall of Fame and brought in to view the 2018 Extreme Rules event and speak with some of the talent backstage. The last time we saw Hogan on WWE programming, however, was during WrestleMania 31, in a showdown many of us had only ever dreamed would happen when the NWO came out to save Sting from D-Generation X. Hogan, Hall, and Nash have always been close, and in the past few months have announced via an old-school black and white video promo that they're reuniting for a Q&A event at the end of October. And look, it'll only cost you $200 or $500 for the good seats to attend. With the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia coming up, and the Saudi royals notorious for some strange and specific demands when it comes to talent from the 90s appearing at the shows they pay for, it wouldn't be shocking to see the group perform on air at the event. Before we get too excited though, let's look at some numbers. Hulk Hogan is now 65 and his last official match was over 6 years ago in TNA. Kevin Nash is 59 and his last singles match was almost 7 years ago in 2011. And Scott Hall, while having worked, or more notoriously not worked, dates on the independent wrestling circuit over the better part of the past decade, was last seen wrestling on a televised match for a big promotion over 8 years ago for TNA, and hasn't wrestled a single match for WWE in over 16 years. It makes all the sense in the world that the NWO would return for a quick nostalgia pop at a big event or two, but at this point in the 3 months career, it seems like them being booked for a real match on WWE TV is really, really unlikely. This one's getting 8 Eugenes. Never say never. Number 3, Batista. I've already talked about Batista returning in another video last week, so I'll try and keep this one real short. Batista seems really anxious to get back in the ring, as is indicated in several interviews, stating, quote, "I would love to go back, but the reason I've not gone back is because I don't want to do a one-off. I want to go and I want to wrestle, man. I want to do some house shows and I want to be part of the program. The one-off thing, the cheap pop thing, it doesn't do anything for me. So now it's a matter of scheduling if I could go back. If I happen to get injured, is that something that's going to affect something else?" So obviously Batista is talking about his acting schedule here, and if it's too full, he may not be able to commit to a full-fledged WWE return. But what I like about this quote is that it shows 2 things. One, it shows that Batista is very aware of how his last run went, and personally, I love that it shows that he's not interested in the easy payday like most high-profile former superstars looking to return. He wants to come back, he wants to do it full-time, he wants to be a wrestler again. So with Batista scheduled for an on-air appearance at SmackDown 1000 later this month, and having most of his projects listed as being in post-production, it seems like now would be the best time, if any, for a long-term WWE run for the Animal. So we're going to go ahead and give this one 3 Eugenes. Seems inevitable. Number 2, Shawn Michaels. The Heartbreak Kid, the showstopper, the main event, Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels, is heavily rumored to be coming out of retirement and returning to in-ring action for the WWE, beginning with the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia. It's rumored HBK will team with his bestie Triple H to take on the Brothers of Destruction. Now this news came in after years and years and years of Shawn Michaels outright denying any notion of a return to the ring in every interview up to this point. In recent years, however, he's been a little bit more lax, saying he's been tempted by ideas like a match against AJ Styles, for example, but never had any serious talks about returning to the ring. But now, with Michaels back into the fold in WWE storylines, and rumors coming in from actual reputable sources that his return has been set in motion and may include future singles matches at big events like Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble, it seems at this point that either a return is truly inevitable or the WWE at least really, really wants us to think that it's happening. So this one's getting 4 Eugenes. Surprisingly believable. Number 1, The Rock. These days, The Rock is one of the most busiest men in Hollywood. With 9 upcoming projects listed on his IMDb page, including 3 sequels and 1 remake, it would be beyond easy to write the great one off of this list and forget his potential to return to the ring, at least for the time being. However, rumors have surfaced earlier this week that the people in charge for sponsoring the WWE events in Saudi Arabia are extremely interested in getting The Rock to appear as Universal Champion at one of their shows in 2019. So much so that they're willing to offer the People's Champ an unprecedented $20 million for just one event. An early speculation going around would pit The Rock against his cousin, Roman Reigns, in time for WrestleMania 35 and include another match for SummerSlam 2019. Even as one of the highest paid actors in the world, one would have to think that working 3 dates for a quick $24 million, which is the rumored amount he would make for the 3 events, would be a no-brainer for The Rock. However, let's not forget that while this information certainly wouldn't be the most shocking discovery in the world of pro wrestling, it is completely unsubstantiated and should be taken with a heavy, heavy dose of salt. So for now, until there's more information, we're gonna have to give this one maybe 5 Eugenes? Yeah, 5 sounds right. 5 Eugenes. There's just not enough information right now, and I'd hate to say anything too soon. Really, it's all just speculation. 5 Eugenes. Alright guys, that is our video. Thank you so much for watching. Now, let us know down in the comment section below what you thought, who you think might return, and who you think definitely isn't going to return. If there's anybody on this list that you'd like to add to it, let us know down below. And also, let us know just, for analytical purposes, how many Eugenes you give this video. It's really important data. We just need to collect it. And as always, if you enjoyed the video today, go ahead and lay the smack down on that like button and ring the bell to subscribe.